And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, today's a big old Friday. We just had the Thursday night game on last night, and once again, another hit. I mean, these are great teams, the Bengals and the Jaguars. They have young quarterbacks that, obviously make the game interesting, but man, oh man, it went down to the wire, and we got a game-winning field goal. So once again, all these primetime games this season have been absolutely very entertaining, very great to watch, even though it's not, the star-studded teams. We know in the first couple of Thursday night games that aren't on kind of prime time television, you have to have NFL Network to watch. They're kind of the lackluster games, and then once Thursday night football moves to Fox for Thursday, then it really starts to ramp up with the better teams. But so far, they've all been great. And if you want to get a little conspiratorial around here, NFL making all these major deals, with the sports betting people, you want to maybe call it fixed to put a better product out on the field, so it's a closer game for more viewers, for more money for the NFL. I'm just saying, maybe that has something to do with it, because all the games this season really coming down to the wire, wild finishes, 66-yard game-winning field goals, geez Louise. So I'll let y'all make of that what you will. But today on the show, we'll be breaking down that game from last night, and it's Friday, y'all. We got to make our official picks. Now, once again, last week, it didn't go great. It didn't go bad. We went 3-3 last week in our lock spectacular. All 6 picks were locks, but we're going to get back to basics this week, folks. Back to basics, 6 picks, 3 in our locks, 399% guarantees, and we're ready to really, take off this season, and we're looking to start it back on track this week by getting back down to the basics. So our picks are also coming at you today on the show. But before we get into any of that, let's just go over a couple of stories here of the day before we get into the Thursday night football breakdown, and then we'll go on from there. But the first story up here, Von Miller on facing the Ravens. And like we said, this is going to be a huge opportunity for the Broncos to truly show, are they the real deal or are they pretenders? That's why we kept them at number 10 in our power rankings. We didn't want to knock them out of the top 10 because they're 3-0 when they're doing what they're supposed to, but we don't really want to move them too high because we're talking about them beating the Jets and the Jags and nothing really good out there. So we got to really see what they're going to do this week against the Ravens. They're at home for this game. Truly a winnable game here for this Broncos team. I kind of like them too. Is this going to be one of our picks this week? You're going to have to stick around to find out, but I'm really kind of liking what the Broncos' potential is here. But let's see what they're kind of saying heading into this matchup. So here we go. Von Miller on facing the Ravens says, time for Broncos to, quote, to show what we've got against a worthy opponent. And exactly that. I'm glad that, they are kind of understanding what's happening here in this locker room. Yeah, they're not going to just be like, well, we may not be good because we haven't really faced any good teams. No. They're like, no, we're good, but we're going to show y'all when we, you guys classify the Ravens as a worthy opponent. So I'm glad that they kind of know they have to, perform a little bit better than what they have been the last couple of weeks if they want to beat this Ravens team. But let's see what Von Miller is saying, and let's see if there's anything going inside the locker room with all the other guys kind of latching onto this message as well. So let's get into this article. Here we go. It's been a while since the Broncos were in a big game. Some would say they haven't since they were in the Super Bowl at Super Bowl 50. A more measured take would skip ahead some months to the 2016 campaign when Denver opened the season 4-0 and were involved in a multiple marquee matchups before spiraling down the stretch. But the point still stands, and it's not lost on the best player from those teams. Von Miller, in the midst of yet another comeback year, no Sunday showdown with the 2-1 Ravens carries more weight than Denver's first 3 contests against the Giants, Jags, and Jets. Quote here by Von Miller says, quote, "It's really like a playoff game early in the season. A lot of these guys haven't even played in a playoff game before. That's kind of been my message to these guys." So Von Miller taking a nice leadership role, be like, hey, this is a high-intensity game, a high-pressure-filled game. Some of you are young here, so, this is what we should be expecting. This is how we should be conducting ourselves this week. It's no nonsense, straight to business, and let's go out there, be competitive, and shut all these people up. I mean, kind of it's 50-50 in the national media. Are they giving the Broncos credit? Are they not? We just saw Vegas maybe a little disrespectful on the spread, saying it's Ravens -1 on the road. How crazy is that? They just had the Bucks -1 on the road last week against the Rams, and look what happened there. We took the Rams +1.5. They went outright by 10. Bingo, bango. Are we going to do the same this week? Well, we'd like to take advantage of Vegas's disrespect, so most likely. But like I said, you're going to have to wait and see, folks. We're not going to give away our picks 6 minutes into the show. What are you, not? What are you, crazy? I'm loving what Von Miller is saying right here, and they know this is a huge, huge game. Von Miller saying, hey, this is kind of like a playoff game. I know it's still early in the season, but we have a chance to go 4-0, and if we lose this game, everybody in the media is going to be like, they're pretenders. They're pretenders. Teddy B can't get it done. Teddy B can't get it done. The defense is not that great. It couldn't stop Lamar Jackson. So all the potential narratives and storylines coming out if the Broncos lose this game, yeah, it is kind of like a playoff game, because I don't know if you will quite get back to kind of being seen as a great team this league if you come in and kind of lay an egg and lose against the Ravens. So they definitely need to come out here and at least be competitive, and we really need them to kind of win this game. All right, but we get one more quote here by Von Miller, so let's read the lead up. No team was more dominant than Denver in September, October, which also includes games against Pittsburgh, Las Vegas, Cleveland, and Washington, will reveal whether the Broncos are for real. The gauntlet begins Sunday in Denver with its top-ranked defense taking on the biggest offensive outlier in the NFL. Quote here by Von Miller, quote, "This is time for us to show what we've got against a worthy opponent. They're a unique team. They have a unique style, a very effective style, but it is unique, and it's led by Lamar Jackson, and we know Lamar Jackson is single-handedly carrying this Ravens offense. No wide receivers for this team can be reliable. Bateman was out for the first couple of weeks. Finally, he's back this week, so hopefully we can see him be productive here in this Ravens offense. We saw Marquise Brown drop ball after ball after ball for home run touchdown after home run touchdown last week against the Lions, and they basically lost that game if it wasn't for Justin Tucker, 66 record-setting yard field goal. We're talking about the Ravens being 1-2 heading into Denver. Then there's no pressure on Denver. All the pressure and momentum's on the Ravens to prove that they can actually win games and be competitive and, be one of the better teams in the NFL. So we'll see what this Ravens team can do. They know what's at stake this week. They are not really treating it like another game right here. They know they've taken advantage and they've done what they needed to do early on against kind of the more lackluster opponents here in the league. And now they got the Ravens coming to town in Denver, and this is a nice ease into, like they just said here in the article, the gauntlet, when they're going to have to start facing the Steelers and the Raiders and the Browns. Washington, I don't know if I put them in, top contenders out here, but yeah, the opponents are really going to start to elevate in level of competition, starting this week. But they're at home this week. Once again, that mile high air, and the Ravens, they like to run the ball, so they might get a little bit more exhausted, a little bit more quicker because they're not used to, being that high in the elevation. The air is a little thinner up there, so we'll see. Something's got to give. Best ranked defense versus the best ranked rushing offense. Something's got to give, and we'll see how it goes. But both of these teams should be ready to rock, and Von Miller is ready to get after Lamar Jackson. Alrighty. Next story up here, Giants running back Saquon Barkley doesn't, quote, want to make any excuses about his slow start to the season. Okay, well, don't make excuses. Go out there and fix it. But, I mean, we're 3 games in, so we got to see something this week, and it's going to be a tough week for this Giants team. If they want to win this week, another tough opponent. I mean, last week was really their opportunity to get a win and get their offense going against the Falcons, but they just didn't do that. So let's see what Saquon Barkley is saying here. A huge game this week that they need to win. We'll see if they can go out and do it, and we'll see if, Saquon Barkley can get it done. But let's see what they're saying here in the article. So here we go. Saquon Barkley isn't happy with how he's performed coming back from an ACL tear, and neither are we. That's why we moved his picture to the middle of our wall so we're not blocking him. We thought we were giving all the kind of good luck and good energy to Aaron Rodgers by putting him in the middle, and we kind of left Saquon Barkley off all the way to the left, and we kind of block him the entire time. So we're going to kind of do our part to try to jumpstart this Giants offense, but at the same time, they got to get it done on the field as well. So hopefully they can. We're doing all that we can over here. We move your canvas to the middle spot, center spot that is shown on camera the entire episode. So I don't know what you want from me, Saquon Barkley. I don't know what you want from me, Giants. I'm doing my part. Do your part. Put up more than 10 points, please. Please, jeez. Oh, man. All right, but here we go. Saquon Barkley isn't happy with how he's performed coming back from an ACL tear. The New York Giants running back has generated just 134 yards and 1 touchdown in 3 games. 134 yards in 3 games? Derrick Henry does that on a game-to-game basis. What you doing, Saquon Barkley? Come on. You can't be on the same wall as King Henry and put up 134 yards through 3 games. What are you, crazy? Come on. Jeez. His 3.4 yards per carry ranks 28th out of 31 running backs with at least 30 carries. You're ranked 28th out of 31 starting running backs in this league? What the heck are you doing, Saquon Barkley? More importantly, what the hell is going on here in New York? Their offense on paper is way too talented to be rushing 3.4 yards a carry with Saquon Barkley. Jason Garrett, get it together. What the hell are you doing? We've been kind of trying to give Jason Garrett the benefit of the doubt. Everybody clowns him for his, Cowboys head coaching days, just clapping on the sideline. And we were trying to find, some good things to say about Jason Garrett. And we believed in him last season, and we were still believing into him this season. But so far, I mean, something's got to give. Get Jason Garrett out of there. This is the last week. I'll extend it one more week here, even though that we kind of said we were 100% off this Giants team. I may give them one more final shot here this week. But after this, it's totally done if they're not getting it done. So this is your last warning, Giants. We moved the canvas, gave you some good energy over here. We'll give you one more game, but it's going to be a tough one. Let's get back to this article. Here we go. Given the fact that he's coming off a brutal knee injury that wiped out all but 2 games last season, the slow start could be expected. But that doesn't mean Barkley is okay with the results. Quote here by Saquon Barkley. Quote, I don't want to make any excuses. I'm not going to do that throughout this whole season. I'm never going to make any excuses. The expectation that people have for me, it's not even close to the expectation that I have for myself, and I never will be as long as I play football or whatever I do after football. That's just my mindset. All right, once again, the classic boilerplate, quotes here, hey, I have more expectations than y'all put on me. Y'all will never know. I'm disappointed in myself. Okay, but at some point, can you kick it into high gear? Yes, this is kind of what you have to say, so that's fine. But at the same time, actions speak louder than words. Who did we just hear last week? Oh, man, who did we just talk about last week when he was like, Josh Allen. Josh Allen, he put so much pressure on himself that, that's kind of why he floundered the first 2 weeks in the season, because he put so much pressure on himself and he worked so hard. And then he finally got it going last week. So, you can, kind of, feel sorry for yourself with these quotes a little bit, but you got to put it, you got to get it done on the field. Josh Allen finally got it done on the field. So Saquon Barkley, it's your time to step up, get it done this week, and we can start buying into you, hyping you up a little bit, increasing your bet ability here for the Giants and all that. It could start this week, but I don't know. All right, we get one more quote, so let's read the lead up here. Barkley's touches have increased in each game this season. Week 1, 11 touches for 27 yards. Week 2, 15 touches for 69 yards. And then just last week, 22 touches for 94 yards and a touchdown. At times, the former number 2 overall pick has looked like his old self, jetting to the edge and making defenders miss in space, but those plays have been the exception. More often than not, the running back has suffered in the hole. His measly 2 rushes of 10-plus yards are tied for second fewest among players with at least 30 carries. Damn, 2 rushes of more than 10-plus yards? Derrick Henry does like 100 of those in a game. The man has 1,000 yards rushing every single game. Come on, Saquon Barkley, you gotta catch up. Last quote here by Saquon Barkley, quote, I hold myself to a high standard. I know this team holds me to a high standard. I know a lot of people hold me to a high standard. Yes, sir, if you're on this wall, you're held to a very, very high standard here. Got to get it working here. Quote, like I always say, I set my own expectations. Right now, I just have to keep working, keep growing, keep improving. I know what I'm coming off of. My mom and dad tried to make me understand I'm coming off a knee injury, try to teach me patience in there. I just have to keep being patient with it. I have to keep getting better and keep trusting it, trusting the process, and keep working. So, yeah, that's great to say, but at some point we have to see it getting it done on the field, and so far it has not been getting it done on the field. He's ranking 29 out of 31 other running backs with 30 carries at minimum. Come on, Saquon. We want to see you return to greatness here at the running back position, and really this offense kind of hinges on what Saquon Barkley can do. We like Daniel Jones, but we know he isn't kind of an A1 tier 1 quarterback yet. And, we kind of, put him at game manager, and having a great running attack helps game managing quarterbacks immensely. Look at Ryan Tannehill. He got the team to the AFC Championship game. Look at Baker Mayfield. He went toe-to-toe with the Chiefs in the second round of the playoffs. That all gets done because they have a great running game with them. And Daniel Jones needs Saquon Barkley to get it going. So we'll see what the Giants can do this week if Saquon Barkley gets back on track. But they've got the Saints in New Orleans, folks. Y'all know how we feel about that. And we may pick this game as well in our picks this week. But, man, oh, man, it's going to be a tough one in New Orleans to get that offense jump-started when you just couldn't jump-start it last week at home against the Falcons. That was the prime time to get it done. That's why we're kind of off this Giants team 100%. But we'll give Saquon Barkley one final last try. Go get it done, kid. Alrighty, next story up here, trying to figure out what the hell is going on with this Steelers team. We just looked at them Wednesday in our film study. Why were they stalling? Why were they stuttering in the first half of these games? It's every single game, these first 3 games of the season, folks, struggling in the first half. Now, they've also struggled in the second half of most of these games, but they also are getting off to very, very slow starts, and you're kind of losing the game from there because the Steelers from last year, why they went 11-0, they were getting it done right from the rip, and they were able to carry that lead, and then the defense was able to apply pressure because the offense was getting it done right from the get-go. But now they're putting up 0 points in the first half, losing the game in the first half, not getting it done in the second half as well. So what the hell is going on here? And we saw it by everybody. The play calling, the quarterback, the pass catchers dropping all the balls, the run game not getting it going. And now we hear from offensive coordinator Matt Canada that says, quote, we're going to stick with what we're doing. So, all right, doesn't seem like they are upset with the scheme that they've implemented, that they're just not going out there and executing the scheme. And we saw both instances of the scheme not working and then them just not executing the scheme. We watched that Wednesday. They were floundering multiple times on multiple drives every way. It wasn't just Big Ben's arm not getting the ball there or the receivers dropping all the balls. It was some of the play calling. It was some of the, schemes and what the receivers and quarterback, were doing. But so they're going to try and keep doing what they're doing, so it hasn't worked so far, but we'll see. So let's read some quotes here by Matt Canada to truly see what the hell is going on here with the Steelers team and what they plan to do or change or not to do or not change to try and get this offense and team jump-started, because they just lost to the Bengals, and now the Bengals are kind of looking like the best team in that division. How crazy is that to say? Obviously, we know the Browns are looking real good. The Ravens are looking okay. They're looking like Lamar Jackson, and Lamar Jackson's great, so that's that. But yeah, this Bengals team is truly challenging, and now the Steelers team could potentially be like the worst team in that division, and that's crazy. But let's see what they're saying here in Pittsburgh. So here we go. The Steelers offense is a mess, truly that. Pittsburgh's supposedly revamped scheme with new offensive coordinator Matt Canada looks an awful lot like the impotent plan the Steelers employed down the stretch last year, unable to stretch the field with Ben Roethlisberger and an offensive line that has played poorly. Despite the 1-2 start this season, Canada isn't exactly ready to hit the panic button just quite yet. I would hit that panic button all day. Quote by Matt Canada, quote, "We're going to stick with what we're doing. Obviously, that's not the answer, and it's not the sexy answer, but we believe we're on the right track. We've got to get some cohesion up front. We're working to get that, and that's not an excuse. We've got to produce right now. So we're not running away from it or hiding from it, but we have to continue to do what we're doing. We have to continue to put our guys in position to make plays, which until we win, when we win, we're not doing that well enough. That falls on me, but we're not going to try to reinvent the wheel. It's fundamental football. Everybody's doing the same stuff. It's fundamental football. We have to be better, and I have to be better." So Matt Canada taking part of the blame, but not going to reinvent the wheel, not going to totally scrap what they've already been working on, that they've been setting up in the training camps and the OTAs and working it and getting stuff on film in the preseason games and working and building off of that. So they're still going to stick with the same scheme, which hasn't resulted into points, and it's really hasn't resulted in any meaningful time of possession or anything like that. So we'll see if that's the right case. And once again, their schedule is just going to increase. They've got the Packers this week on the road. That's not something where, that's not a game that you can kind of be like, all right, let's just kind of totally reset. Let's kind of go back down to the basics and go out there and win this game. That's not, the Packers aren't a team you do that against. That's a team that you do kind of against the Falcons or the Jaguars, one of these kind of lesser teams in the league. The Bengals kind of did it last night. Didn't do anything in the first half. They went into halftime. Alrighty, let's get back down to basics. And then they scored on every single drive that they had in the second half. So that was fantastic. But the Pittsburgh Steelers coming off of a loss against a division opponent, coming off of 2 losses here, and now having to go on the road and facing Aaron Rodgers. This is not the time where they can just kind of experiment and try to figure out how to win. So we'll see what they do. But a couple more quotes here by Matt Canada. So let's read the lead up here. Canada's play calling has done Big Ben few favors. There is little creativity, fewer motions, and exotic looks than were discussed this offseason. Instead, the passing attack has leaned chiefly on wide receiver screens and other bailout plays. In 2021, 26.9% of Roethlisberger's targets have been thrown behind the line of scrimmage, the highest such rate in the NFL. So Matt Canada trying to implement this screen game. And remember, we've kind of been saying this the entire kind of off season as we've been going and looking back and seeing what the teams were doing last season and what worked last season and what teams had success last season. We saw a lot of screen game action from last season, and we were kind of saying all off season that we would see the screen game increase this season immensely. Right here, the Steelers are doing it, but it's not working. So yeah, everybody kind of figured it out last season and it is shutting it down this year. So The screen game, man, everybody was kind of having the same thought on the defensive end of the ball. They're like, we're going to get beat by screen passes this season, but we're not going to allow that to happen. And they were watching film after film after film after film of the screen game. The Steelers' offensive coordinator, Matt Canada, thought he was having the upper leg against all the other defensive coordinators, but they were all on the same page. They knew the screen attack was going to come relentless this season, and so far, they've been shutting it down for the Steelers. So the screen game used to be, automatic home runs for the majority of the part, but now that everybody's doing it and everybody's getting it involved in their game, all the defensive coordinators are familiar with it and are shutting it down. No screen game here for the Steelers, and they're running screens on 26.9% of Roethlisberger's throws. So dink and dunk out there, it's not working. Screen game's not working, and they've got the pieces to run this kind of screen game very well. I mean, to run the screen game well, you have to have great wide receivers, and the Steelers do have that. Now they also have to block, and that might be a part of why the Steelers team is also floundering. These receivers are not blocking well. They're skilled at catching the ball and fast, athletic, tall, all of that, but in the blocking game, they're not getting it done out there. So Matt Canada gonna stick with the screen game. So we'll see if that works. All right, back to the article. Canada didn't blame the offensive line, but it'd be foolish to believe the issues aren't affecting his play calling. Quote, I'm a big believer in everything's up front, but I don't want to say when we're not having success, that's why. When you look at us, we're just not clicking. I've said it a lot of times, and it's not going to change. It's 11 men doing their job. We're just like here and there and everywhere. That's not running away from our lack of what we're doing. We're not getting it done, and I take that fully on me. We just got to find a way to all be on the same page and execute at the same level at the same time. The line's part of it, but the wideouts, the tight ends, the backs, the quarterbacks, the play caller, we all got to be together. So once again, not kind of putting the blame on one sole point, the quarterback, the receivers, the line, anything like that. It's everybody, including Matt Canada, and we'll see what the Steelers team can do heading into the rest of the season. They've got to get this offense on track first, and then the defense needs to kind of continue to do its thing, because this defense has been kind of holding this Steelers team in games. They haven't been getting blown out in any of their losses. It's majority kind of one possession deficits for the majority of the game, and then they acquire the second possession deficit, the 2 possession deficit a little bit later in the third quarter, early in the fourth quarter. So this Steelers defense, like the Dolphins defense, keeping their team in the game. But when your team doesn't have any offense, you can't win the game. That's how you win games, folks, to put up the most points. Whoever at the end of the game has the most points wins the game. And if your offense is not putting up any points, you can't win the game. So the Steelers defense has to continue the course, and the offense has to figure out what the hell is going on. And they've got a tough opponent this week to try to get back on track here offensively. They got to try it, but they're looking like they're going to fall 1-3, and that's not going to be great for Big Ben and this Steelers team and the media attention. Everybody's already writing off Big Ben and his arm and all that, and we're in the beginning of the season. This is supposed to be when everybody's praising Big Ben, when the Steelers are 4-0, when Big Ben's arm is absolutely great right now and slinging it around. The narrative should be, when is his arm and when is this offense going to start declining like it did last season? Now the narrative is when and if this Steelers team is going to increase. So, offensively. So, we'll see what they can do. But Matt Canada, not worrying, not hitting the panic button. They're going to stick to what they've been doing. So, we'll see if that works out. All right, we got a little update on what we said yesterday. So George Kittle did not practice yesterday, but Kyle Shanahan said, yeah, he'll pretty much play this week. But now we're getting kind of something that maybe resembles tempering down expectations on George Kittle. So head coach Kyle Shanahan said George Kittle is, quote, not guaranteed to play this week against the Seahawks. So that's definitely going to hurt them. I believe George Kittle was their leading receiver last week when they faced the Packers. Unfortunately, they lost. lost. But yeah, we all know that George Kittle's a huge weapon, a huge piece offensively, leadership-wise, everything. He's just a huge part of this 49ers team. So if he's not good to go, facing the Seahawks, division opponent, all that, they're at home for this game, which is great for the 49ers, but no George Kittle potentially, and that's unfortunate. What course is that at Tight End University? Injury management? Come on, get out there on the field. Don't miss a game, George Kittle. They need you out there. So potential no George Kittle this week for the 49ers. But a running back that is coming back this week is Josh Jacobs. He just returned to practice yesterday for the Raiders. He missed the last 2 games here, and he's looking to get right back out there. They haven't really missed him too much, but he definitely provides that big boost in the rushing attack. We didn't really see Kenyon Drake step up. He rarely even played. Their other backup running back got the bulk of the work besides Kenyon Drake, but now Josh Jacobs is back out here for the Raiders, and we'll see if he can kind of, continue on where he left off. We know he's one of the better running backs out in this league, and if the Raiders can kind of, establish a true running game, we know their passing game is kind of elite here in the league, but if Josh Jacobs can return to form real early on and establish the running game here, this Raiders team can open up another kind of dimension to their offense, and they do have a tough opponent this week in they've got the Chargers on Monday Night Football in LA. So it's going to be a tough game, but Josh Jacobs is back, which should help this offense out in a tough game. So Josh Jacobs back for the Raiders, George Kittle potentially out for the 49ers. Alrighty, those are all the stories that we needed to cover quickly for today. So let's head over to the Thursday night football game from last night and start breaking it down and see what these two teams did. Alrighty, so the Bengals get the close 24-21 win over the Jaguars last night, and how unfortunate. Urban Meyer starting 0-4. He only had 4 losses at Ohio State, folks. 4 losses at Ohio State. He's got 4 losses here in his first 4 games in the NFL. So Urban Meyer's path in the NFL is not going too smoothly, truly following what Nick Saban did when he made his short stint in the league for the Dolphins. What was it, 1 season, 2 seasons, nothing great. So Urban Meyer, he's learning that, hey, the NFL and the college system are 2 totally different beasts. But I will give credit to Urban Meyer for coming out and being kind of competitive right off the get-go. I mean, this Jaguars team, yeah, they kind of, punt on their first drive, but then they score a touchdown on their second drive, making it 7-0, and then they punt again, unfortunately, 3-and-out, but then they score another touchdown, making it 14-0, and was knocking on the door of going up 21-0, which potentially at that moment could have really kind of won the game, or really just kind of changed the entire way that the game went, because we know the Bengals came out of halftime and then scored on every single drive. But if you go up 21-0 right before halftime, maybe the Bengals don't come out as fiery in the second half. So I will give credit to Urban Meyer for that, getting his team ready to rock on Thursday Night Football. We ended up taking the Bengals minus 7.5 last night. Unfortunate, that obviously didn't hit, but that was kind of why we swallowed the points, because we didn't think Urban Meyer would have his team ready to go Thursday night, short turnaround on the road, primetime game, must-win game here because they're down 0-3 heading into this week. So everything, all the narratives were kind of going against Urban Meyer, but he only lost by 3. He had the lead. He made a gutsy call that I kind of agree with, right on the 1-yard line. Go for it. Let's go up 21-0 instead of kicking the field goal to go up 17-0. Unfortunately, they don't get it, but I still respect the call there by Urban Meyer to go for it. The gutsy call. We just saw Brandon Stanley do that for the Chargers last week, and it paid off. They beat the Chiefs, and Urban Meyer having the same thinking. So Urban Meyer, we know it's hard for rookie players and even coaches out here for their first year in the NFL to make it big and to get out to a hot start. But so far, Urban Meyer is slowly but surely, I think, getting there and learning how to be a winning, successful head coach in this league real early on with the whole Tim Tebow circus, and then the quarterback competition that we all knew wasn't a quarterback competition really, I think, hurt him just in the face of the locker room and just kind of the face in the leadership. But but after, experiencing the games and seeing how just kind of the games work out and how the media reacts and how fans react and how players react to, losing games and losing close, trying to get that coveted win, first coveted win here for Urban Meyer. So I will give Urban Meyer a little bit of credit here for coming out here and really kind of dominating a little kind of early in this game. It was real solid, and just unfortunately they kind of, blow up a little bit in the second half, but it was more the Cincinnati Bengals going out and winning the game in the second half than the Jaguars going out and losing in the second half. So we will give Urban Meyer a little credit here for this loss, being competitive in this game, and we'll see if he continues to kind of learn the NFL and start to get a little bit better, or if he just goes 100% Nick Saban. Hey, screw it, I'm out of here in a year or two, and I will go back and he won't go back to coaching in college, I don't think, but he can just kind of rest his legacy and be like, we don't talk about those NFL days. We talk about those Ohio State, Florida days. Yeah, that's what we talk about in the Urban Meyer household. We don't care. Yeah, I did something with the Jaguars. It wasn't even that serious. Y'all took me head coaching the Jaguars seriously? I did it as a goof. I was goofing, y'all. Come on. Y'all couldn't see me goofing, y'all? I signed Tim Tebow. That was the goof. I was goofing, y'all. I wasn't taking that seriously. No, stop it. So I hope that's not what Urban Meyer is going to do. I hope he doesn't go down the same path. I would like to see Urban Meyer have success. Obviously, having success in, kind of college, and, we know the college system is below the NFL. So, you're great in kind of, the tier 2 phase of kind of football, but then you come and play with the big boys, the big dogs, and you get absolutely obliterated. And then you have to kind of, leave with your tail tucked between your legs. That's never a great look for anybody, and I don't want that for Urban Meyer. So we would like to see this man get a little bit better out here, but we'll see. But so far, this is kind of the best thing I've said about Urban Meyer all season, that he had his team competitive in the first half of a game on the road for Thursday Night Football. So we'll see if he can continue to build off and grow off of this. All right, let's start talking about some players right here, and then we'll get into some big potential game-shifting plays right here. There are about 3 big game-shifting plays or series or drives in this game that I kind of want to point out a little bit and see what the quarterbacks, these young quarterbacks, were doing in these big situations. I mean, we're talking about game-winning scenarios, and that's all you got to do. If you can win the plays for the game-changing scenarios, we talked about it, and even Mike McCarthy talked about it in Hard Knocks, the mojo moment. Hey, everybody just feels, hey, this is going to be a huge turning point in this game. Whether we kind of get the first down or we don't, whatever the outcome is, each outcome affects the game differently, and we obviously want to kind of pick up this first down so the game is affected positively and kind of leans in toward our favor, and we have the chance to take this opportunity. So there were a couple of those in this game that we're going to talk about. But let's start talking about some players and what happened in this game. So, like we said, the Jaguars get out to a pretty solid start. Unfortunately, they have to punt on their first drive. But then the second drive, they score a touchdown. Third drive, they punt. Fourth drive is a touchdown. And then they get the turnover on downs drive. Truly unfortunate. And we're going to watch that in a second. Where do I want to start? I guess we could start here with Trevor Lawrence. So let's start here with Trevor Lawrence. He goes 17 of 24, which I believe is 70% completion percentage. Let's double check the math right here right quick. 17 of 24, 70% completion percentage for 204 yards. Real solid here. And what have we been kind of saying for the first 3 weeks? We've been seeing high numbers of throws here by the quarterback. But once again, another kind of good kind of green flag for this Jaguars team is that once again they had a nice kind of run pass balance. Only 24 throws by Trevor Lawrence, 18 rushes by James Robinson, their running back. So a nice equal run and pass game right here for the Jaguars. Another reason why they were in this game and only lost by 3 points and only lost in kind of the final drive of the game. So Trevor Lawrence had a real solid night. Didn't throw a touchdown pass, but, had some big throws in this game. slinging the ball down to Chenault Jr. Unfortunately, didn't have DJ Chark in this game for the majority of the game either, so that hurt him. So once again, Trevor Lawrence is making do with everything he has, and he's still a rookie. I mean, we're kind of seeing what we saw from Justin Herbert a little bit. When you were just looking at his stats, Justin Herbert's stats last season early on, they weren't the best. Same thing with Trevor Lawrence, but when you watch them throw the ball, they have it. So, and Justin Herbert didn't truly come onto the scene 100% till about maybe weeks 10, 11, 12. That's really when he was starting to catch his groove. I mean, Trevor Lawrence could potentially be the same way. We're only 4 games in, and we're seeing some big, great green flags out of Trevor Lawrence's passing game. So we'll see if he can continue to grow like Justin Herbert did, and we'll see if we're talking about Trevor Lawrence the way we talk about Justin Herbert. And that's going to be pretty tough because we truly talk the heck out of Justin Herbert in a huge positive light. The man's truly got it. Big, strong, beefy man that can air out the ball. Big, strong arm. Accuracy is great, and he's starting to win games now. How great is that? So overall, a solid game out here by Trevor Lawrence. Unfortunately, he had an opportunity to kind of win the game, and we're going to get to that play also. And unfortunately, just could not get it done. Third and what? We get a 3rd and 4 pass incomplete right at midfield, and that was their final drive. And then the Bengals go down and kind of take the entire rest of the time off the clock, 5.5 minutes, and goes down and kicks the game-winning field goal. But Trevor Lawrence and James Robinson, the run-pass game was real solid. James Robinson, 18 carries for 78 yards and 2 touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence took off with the ball 8 times, and that's kind of another kind of part to his game. He's not, a true dual threat. He's not a Patrick Mahomes or a Kyler Murray or Lamar Jackson, a little bit on kind of the same Ryan Tannehill-esque speed. I think I give Tannehill a little bit of an edge in the speed department, but Trevor Lawrence I do believe is a little bit bigger overall than Ryan Tannehill is. So he can kind of, beef his way, muscle his way a little bit more. But I do believe that Ryan Tannehill is a hair faster than Trevor Lawrence. But he can kind of utilize his legs a little bit. He had 8 rushes for 36 yards. He also ran for a touchdown, so that's great. Didn't turn the ball over here. No turnovers for the Jaguars. The Trevor Lawrence in the second half. We saw the second half performance last week against the Cardinals. They still weren't really moving the ball well. This game either. They only put up 7 points in the second half, but it wasn't Trevor Lawrence turning over the ball. So once again, kind of, cleaning up some things, just have to put everything together. And that's, offensively, defensively, special teams, coaching, everything needs to put together 100% for you to win a game. So Trevor Lawrence is getting better. We just have to see all the other kind of components to this team overall get better as well. And once again, not having your full complement of wide receivers. I mean, not having your number 1 wide receiver out there, DJ Chark. I mean, we talk about Zach Wilson's kind of struggles out here, and we kind of, put a little bit of an excuse / free pass, not a big one, little something of, having no Jamison Crowder, him not having his number 2 wide receiver out there for the Jets. So, if Zach Wilson didn't have Corey Davis, could you imagine what Zach Wilson would be looking like? I mean, the Jets fans would be chasing him out of New York, folks. I mean, he would literally probably get exiled from the entire league through 3 games if he didn't have Corey Davis. So other than that, Trevor Lawrence is truly being solid out here and trying to get these wins. And once again, I think we were a little spoiled last season with the rookies. Rookies don't really kind of rookie quarterbacks, rookie everywhere else can make an immediate impact. But we know the quarterback position is like the biggest, most important position. They hold so much and they have to be true leaders. And these are kids coming in and all that. So we know the quarterback position is the hardest for rookies to kind of come in and kind of take over year 1. And last season, we had some really great rookie quarterback performances. And I think that kind of spoiled us for this season because we're not getting anywhere near the talent that we saw last year with Justin Herbert and Tua, and Jalen Hurts even was solid, and Joe Burrow. So I think we have to give these quarterbacks a little bit of time, but so far, there's no cause for concern here for Trevor Lawrence. And I love how, like, everybody's giving Urban Meyer a free pass now. Everybody's like, everyone's like, well, this is a rebuild team, and they've been trash and all this, and Urban Meyer's doing the best he can. But do y'all remember what Urban Meyer himself said, folks? He said, this is not a rebuild. I am not coming in here to rebuild this team. We are going to be competitive, and we are going to try to win as we kind of get this team. It's not a rebuild, but we're just kind of rearranging this team. It's not a rebuild. We're still going to be competitive. We're still expecting to win games. So, everybody's giving Urban Meyer free passes, but we shouldn't, because he's holding himself to a higher standard. He didn't come in and be like, all right, this is my first year. This is a rebuilding team. This is a bad team. All righty. Don't expect anything big. No, he said, hey, I don't care that I'm a rookie head coach. I don't care that this is a bad team, in a rebuilding stage in your eyes, but not in my eyes, and we're ready to be competitive. So we really can't give Urban Meyer free passes because he's holding high regards of this Jaguars team, but they're 0-4 so far. So stop with the free passes by Urban Meyer, folks. He's a grown man. He's won in the college system. He won't be hurt, or he shouldn't really be hurt by anybody kind of knocking him, but not totally knocking him. So relax on Urban Meyer. He's fine, folks, but don't give that man any free passes. He's expecting to win here, and down 0-4, that's not getting it done. So stop with the free passes of Urban Meyer, please. I saw it today on Twitter, a lot of people doing that, and I'm just like, his own words said we're going to be competitive, and they were competitive in this game, which once again, we gave Urban Meyer the credits for this game, but we still have to get the win and still got to get a little bit better out here. But, we're giving him a little small credit. But people are giving him way more credit in free passes. We're not giving Urban Meyer any free passes. No way. He maybe had an opportunity to take free passes, and he said, no, I won't take any. This is not a rebuild. He said it himself, folks. I don't know what you want from us. Those are his own words. All right, but back to the game. Let's see who Trevor Lawrence was slinging the ball to. Leading receiver, Laviska Shenault Jr., and he had a great game, a great catch down the field that set him up at that kind of, 1-2 yard line to try to punch it in, and we're going to look at that play as well. But Laviska Shenault Jr., leading receiver here for the Jaguars, 6 receptions for 99 yards. He was also the most targeted receiver. Dan Arnold, the tight end, newly acquired from the Panthers for a cornerback. Second leading receiver here, 2 catches for 29 yards. Jamal Agnew, 1 catch for 27 yards. Marvin Jones, 3 catches for 24 yards. And then Tavon Austin, 1 catch for 8 yards. So Trevor Lawrence not having kind of, A1, tier 1 wide receivers all around him, playing the part of him not truly being able to sling this ball around, but made the most of it. And once again, why we can buy Trevor Lawrence. It's going to be slowly but surely, but there's no cause for concern. There is no cause for panic on Trevor Lawrence himself, the quarterback. So the Jaguars, decent game, unfortunately just lost, the home field advantage, the home crowd. Bengals chew off the final 5.5 minutes, and that's just how it goes sometimes, unfortunate. If you have the ball last, you kind of win the game. We just saw that all last week, with the Ravens scoring that 66-yard game-winning field goal. The Raiders in overtime having the ball last, all that. So it's just unfortunate sometimes. All right, but now let's start talking about this Bengals team. Joe Burrow, a little struggling in the first half. We've got some plays queued up of why they just couldn't take advantage. And, they just could not get that kind of first down. On the first drive, they moved the ball 76 yards, but missed a kind of easy chip shot field goal. It was like, what do we got, 40-something yards? 43 yards. They were able to pick up that first down and move the ball. But then the second drive, 3 and out, they couldn't get that first down. The second drive, 4 plays, 17 yards, really could not sustain, get those first downs. Last drive of the first half, 3 and out again. But then in the second half, they were able to pick up the first downs, able to move the ball, able to sustain the drives, and they scored on every single drive that they had in the second half. Touchdown first drive, touchdown second drive, touchdown third drive, field goal on the very last drive. And while they were, moving down the field, they were also chewing up the clock. 6.5 minute drive, 5.5 minute drive, 5.5 minute drive. That makes the second half go by quickly, and the Bengals win 24-21 because of that. So this is a real solid Bengals team, folks. You got to give credit to Joe, the head coach. Zach Taylor, got to give credit to him. Got to give credit to the offensive coordinator for scheming for Joe Burrow to have success. They were just getting it done in the second half, moving the ball, and the Jaguars defense could not stop anything that they were doing. So Joe Burrow ends the night 25 of 32. 78% completion percentage, absolutely fantastic for 348 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, didn't fumble, truly slinging this ball around and truly got it done in the second half, and that's what won the Bengals the game. They also had a really solid running game. Joe Mixon, 16 carries for 67 yards. He had a touchdown as well. Joe Burrow slinging the ball to Tyler Boyd, leading receiver here for the Bengals. 9 receptions for 118 yards. And then can we talk about the tight end, CJ Uzma? Oh my goodness, folks. 5 catches for 95 yards and 2 touchdowns. And you know we celebrate Tight End University here, and we're going to give him his grade today, folks. Today, we're not going to wait till Tuesday to break down this man's tight end performances. So let's give CJ Uzma his grade right now, folks. So here we go. 5 catches for 95 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he kind of had the game-sealing catch here on the final drive. Look at this, folks. It is 2nd and 13 at the Jacksonville's Jaguars 46-yard line, and he catches a 25-yard pass that puts him down basically at the 20, and then they just have that chip shot field goal. So CJ Uzma, let's celebrate him and watch every catch from his performance last night, and then we will give him his week 4 grade for our summa cum laude honors of the Tight End University. So here we go. First play up. What is CJ Uzma doing? They're down 14-0 in the second half. Joe Burrow lofts it up to him on a 2nd and 7, and he goes down and takes it in for the touchdown, folks. So he jump starts this Bengals offense all by himself, a 20-yard catch and run right here. Oh, look at that nice little stiff arm. I mean, they teach this at Tight End University, how to get open, and I mean, we know tight ends are all big out here. Let's get the official height on CJ Uzma. He's looking like he's 6'5", 6'6", and beefy as heck. So let's see what his official tangibles are here, because he just stiff-armed this one defender, and he was able to walk into the end zone because of it. So here we go. CJ Uzma, 6'6", 260. That's exactly how we love our tight ends, baby. Woo! As a beefy man right there. That is that beefy tight end we love, folks. Let's watch it one more time, and let's watch this stiff arm. Here we go. I mean, at the 10-yard line, get out of here. And then he takes another hit, and then he's still able to go 3 yards into the end zone. And now the Bengals are on their way to the comeback win, making the game 14-7 now. CJ Uzma. Yes, sir. All right, next play up. What do we got? What is he going to do now? Here we go. In the fourth quarter, down 21-14. CJ Uzma on 1st and 10 picks up about 8-9 yards. That's how we do it here with the tight ends. Here we go. Still down 21-14. 3rd and 4 in the fourth quarter. 3rd and 4. Joe Burrow escaping out of the pocket. CJ Uzma able to find the open space down the left sideline, and he takes it in for another touchdown. So he had the first touchdown to make it a 14-7 game, and now he has another touchdown to make it 21-21 on a 3rd and 4. If Joe Burrow, he bought all the time he could, if unfortunately he got sacked or had to throw this ball away, they're looking at 4th and 4, probably take a field goal, and then it's a 21-17 game. But the tight ends, they are difference makers. They turn a potential field goal into guaranteed 7 points. That's what they teach at Tight End University, baby. Start respecting these tight ends, especially the 6'6" ones. I'm glad we're getting this abundance of 6'6" tight end talent with Kyle Pitts and Darren Waller and CJ Uzma. I mean, sheesh, folks, and y'all wanted little old 6'2" Tim Tebow out here. That's why we don't have 100% faith in Urban Meyer, because he's looking at all these 6'6" tight ends and he's like, I'll take the one that's 6'2", that's never played the tight end position before. This is what real tight ends do, folks. You're telling me that Tim Tebow would have gotten open down the field on a 3rd and 4, down 7 game in the fourth quarter when they needed to do something in the clutch? You're telling me Tim Tebow would clutch this? No way, no way. So well done to CJ Uzma, his 2nd touchdown of the game. And now here we go. Tie game 21-21. The Bengals driving here, trying to do something on 2nd and 8 around midfield. CJ Uzma on 2nd and 8 gets a first down, keeps the drive moving, keeps the clock ticking. And then we get on 2nd and 14. The wide receiver screen right here, and he takes it all the way down. Once again, unfortunate that the Steelers can't run the screen game to perfection, but CJ Usma can. Yes, sir. Takes it all the way for the first down on 2nd and 14, ices the game. So he had the 2 scores. He had 2 clutch first downs on the game-winning touch or field goal drive. What more could you ask out of a tight end performance, folks? This is absolutely an A+. Do I dare say plus? Do we give out the first official A++ to a tight end at Tight End University? You better believe it. I mean, clutch scoring multiple times throughout the entire second half when they needed somebody to make plays. It was the tight end, folks, and you better believe he learned that from Tight End University. So CJ Uzma, his first appearance here on the Tight End University list, couldn't have come at a better time, and we are giving out the first A++ to CJ Uzma for his week 4 performance. Keep it up, and hopefully every tight end starts playing like this. We've already seen some great tight end performances so far, and it's only been 4 weeks into the season. But CJ Uzma, one of the best performances of the entire year by a tight end. Keep on going, keep on getting better, and keep on showing out for the younger tight ends that are coming up that will be at Tight End University next year, folks. Let's quickly see. Was CJ Uzma officially at Tight End University? I think he was. But let's officially double check right here. Or is he definitely punching his ticket, and we will have to pay for his tuition for next season to get this man officially in? So let's see. Was CJ Uzma at Tight End University? Let's quickly take a look. We're scrolling at all the great tight ends. Look at all these great names on this list, folks. He's so great. Here he is. Yes, he is. CJ Uzma. The man learned from the greats, and he showed it all last night. Go get it done, tight ends, folks. Whew. So CJ Uzma is going to be in contention for summa cum laude honors at the tight end graduation at the end of this season. So very well done to CJ Uzma. Alrighty. So CJ Uzma played great. Joe Burrow played great. Joe Mixon played great. What else do we got here by the receivers here for the Bengals? We got Jamar Chase. Unfortunately, didn't have a touchdown, but another solid performance out here. 6 catches for 77 yards. He had 9 targets. And then we got Trenton Irwin, 1 reception for 25 yards. Auden Tate, 1 reception for 18 yards. So spreading the ball around to his tall wide receivers and tall weapons in general. Isn't Tyler Boyd 6'5"? 6'4", 6'5"? What do we got? That's not going to load up. That's fine. Okay, Tyler Boyd, I'm pretty sure is like 6'4", 6'5". So that man is tall. CJ Uzma, we just said 6'6". So Joe Burrow using all of his tall weapons. That's what we love to see. All right, but let's watch a couple of plays here of what kind of turned the tide in this game. So let's start here with the Bengals drive right here that resulted in a 3-and-out. So let's see why this Bengals team got out to a little bit of a slow start. Was it Joe Burrow just not completing these balls right here? Because we saw what they did when they kind of picked up that first down. And we saw it all in the second half. They scored touchdown after touchdown. So here we go. The Bengals second drive, they're down 7-0. It is 2nd and 8. Let's see what Joe Burrow does here. And this was kind of a game-changing drive. They don't score on this drive. I believe the Jaguars go down and score, not on this drive, but on their next drive. I mean, Bengals make it 7-7. Do the Jaguars even get another touchdown? Do they all just kind of implode? So, once again, this was kind of a huge, big stop here by the Jaguars defense. Great stops overall. So, were they great stops in the first half, or were they Joe Burrow not getting it done? So, here we go. 2nd and 8. Joe Burrow, steady in the pocket, but it gets tipped at the line of scrimmage. Great job there by, what do we got, Miles Jack and Josh Allen to kind of get their hands on the ball and pressure the quarterback. Who gets his hand on this ball officially? It is Josh Allen. A great tip up right there. Which brings up 3rd and 8, and we're going to get another pass by Joe Burrow. Once again, it's an incomplete, but let's see why. So Joe Burrow drops back the pass. Going to step up in the pocket, and our video is going to freeze. That's not great. Alrighty. So here we go. We got to reload this. This isn't good. Looks like our internet is going to crap out on us. Not exactly what we want to see. Alrighty, let's see if this video plays, or if this is going to reload. So here we go on the Bengals' next drive, another kind of 3-and-out drive here. Here we go, 3rd and 14. Joe Burrow dropping back to pass, stepping up in the pocket, throwing on the run, and there is just nothing open. And unfortunately, we also do not have the coach's film just quite yet for this game. But yeah, trying to buy the time. Little dump off here. Could have been over there to the left sideline, but there, he's not even looking over there. Throwing on the run. We don't really see anything open, so unfortunate there. Once again, great job by the Jaguars defense to not really give anything, and that's why they were able to get out to that nice 14-0 start. That almost was a 21-0 start. Oh, we're not there just quite yet. All right, we get another kind of 3rd down, not pickup here by this Bengals team on 3rd and 2. This time it's off of that. Is it? I think it is off of the missed. Nope. This is before the missed 4th down. All right. So before the missed 4th down, if the Bengals go down and score a touchdown on this drive or just eat up the rest of the clock, we could have potentially got a different game as well. But let's see what happens here. 3rd and 2. Bengals still struggling to pick up these first downs in the first half. Let's see why. Good Jaguars defense or bad throw by Joe Burrow. So let's see. Here we go. 3rd and 2. 3 minutes left in the first half, and he dumps it down to the check down, and there was no separation there, and tackled immediately, and it's caught for no gain. So let's see, was there anything that was open right here? We get, who is this, Joe Mixon on the right side, doing nothing right here, not even showing. And then we've got some wide receivers all flowing to the left right here. Nothing truly open. All 3 of their options right here on the left side and truly covered very well. So just unfortunate this Jaguars defense could not continue the lockdown success that it had in the first half. And it's CJ Uzma and Joe Burrow exploiting this defense, figuring it out. And the Jaguars weren't able to kind of switch it up and fool the Bengals, and they gave up touchdowns on the first 3 drives, and then the game-winning field goal drive when they didn't need a touchdown. All they needed was a field goal. So it's just unfortunate that this Jaguars defense kind of, shit the bed a little bit in the second half. Unfortunate, but well done by Joe Burrow going into halftime and just coming out and firing and slinging the ball around. Like we said, these drives were pretty gosh dang long, besides the first one that went big because Joe Burrow went to Jamar Chase. Once again, Jamar Chase is truly proving to be the best wide receiver of this rookie class. And we kind of said, I think Zach Taylor was playing big brain IQ and told Jamar Chase to drop all those balls in the preseason games to kind of get everybody off of them, because this turnaround that we saw from Jamar Chase is absolutely fantastic. So Jamar Chase had a nice 44-yard pass play on the first drive. So the first drive only went 2 minutes, but then the second drive out of halftime, we said 6 minutes and 30 seconds. Third drive, 5.5 minutes. Last drive, 5.5 minutes as well. Alrighty, but let's go down to this drive right here where, well, we can also credit Laviska Shenault Jr. out here. Look at that, to come back toward the ball and find the ball and catch the ball all the way down. Where do they place him? At the 10-yard line. But this was a huge potential turning point in this game as well. If the Jaguars scored a touchdown on this drive to go up 21-0, do the Bengals come back in the second half? I mean, they still put up, they would still kind of, won the game in the sense that they put up 24 points. But the Jaguars put up 7 points in the second half too. So 28-24 potential here, or even 24-24 potential tie if they settle for the field goal. But, I don't blame Urban Meyer for going for it here. You've been having good success here, and if you go up 21-0 on the road, I mean, that's exactly where you want to be. So I don't fault, and I'm not going to blame Urban Meyer. I think it's a solid call. I'm not going to judge whether it's a good call, bad call. I think it's a solid call right here by Urban Meyer that unfortunately just not pan out. If they go for it and it does pan out, they get the touchdown, then Urban Meyer's a genius and all that. It's just kind of those calls that you have to make, and I respect him making that big call right here. But let's see why it floundered here. Why could they not pick up these final 10 remaining yards to the end zone? So let's see what they do here and why this drive stalled. So here we go. After the big completion to Laviska Shenault Jr., they go off and hand the ball off. and it picks up about 3-4 yards, only about 2 yards. So now it's 2nd and goal. All right, here we go. 2nd and goal. Trevor Lawrence in the shotgun from the 8-yard line. Can he sling it in here? Here we go. Dropping back to pass. Escaping out of the pocket, trying to throw on the run, and he didn't even really need to run out of the pocket. No real pressure here. This is solid protection right here. Didn't need to kind of roll out of it, but he does roll out, and then he takes away half the field, kind of 3/4 of the field, since he's rushing toward the short side, and there's nothing open, and unfortunately has to throw it away. But now we get 3rd and goal. Here we go. Trevor Lawrence. We're going to get a timeout. Alrighty. So Urban Meyer wants to kind of talk it over a little bit. Alrighty. Here we go. Trevor Lawrence, 3rd and goal. In the shotgun. Tries to hit Chenault Jr. again, real close on a slant route, and it was a good decision. It brings him down right to the 1-yard line. Unfortunately, could not extend the ball over the goal line. We get the slow-mo angle, and yeah, just short, man, an inch short. So unfortunate there, but that gives Urban Meyer enough confidence to go for it right on the 1-yard line. Now let's see what they call here. Who do they trust to pick up this 1 yard? Why don't they have Trevor Lawrence under center for a QB sneak? We know this man is beefy. This man is a big quarterback that he can go and sneak it. But they don't do that. They line him up in the shotgun. Alrighty. So they line him up in the shotgun on 4th and goal. And then it's just kind of a speed option. They have Trevor Lawrence run right up the middle, and it does not go. So I truly don't understand that sense. If you are going to run the ball with the quarterback or the running back, why put yourself at a disadvantage of starting 3, 4, 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage? So I don't love the call here. If you are going to run the ball with Trevor Lawrence or the running back, just line up under center, go beefy, go big, a big package, or just have Trevor Lawrence go over the top. But I don't like the direct snap to Trevor Lawrence and then the fake of the kind of pitch to the running back. But you do got to credit this Bengals defense here. I mean, they gave no push here to Trevor Lawrence. Just watch this man just get stood up as soon as he reaches kind of the line of scrimmage. That is huge, big time defense right there, right on the 1 yard line. And was that all the momentum going back to the Bengals right before halftime? Who's to say for certain? But man, oh man, truly unfortunate. It truly kind of seemed like this game was a little bit lost right here on the 1 yard line. So I don't love the play calling. I like the idea to go for it. I don't love the play calling. Alrighty. And then here we go. The final opportunity for this Jaguars to try and win this game. It is tied 21-21. 6 minutes left. 5 minutes, 49 seconds left in the 4th quarter. The Jaguars are at midfield on a 3rd and 4. They pick this up. They could probably chew off a lot of the remaining clock, kind of get a touchdown or a field goal to take the lead and to put all the pressure back on the Bengals. But it's an incomplete pass on 3rd and 4, so let's see why. Was it Trevor Lawrence missing the ball? Was it the receiver dropping it? Or was it great defense down the stretch in the clutch by the home team, the Bengals? So let's see what we get here. Here we go. 3rd and 4 at midfield. Trevor Lawrence in the shotgun, takes the snap. Pressure now getting there, and he escapes the wrong way. This is not great. This is kind of on the fault of Trevor Lawrence a little bit. So here we go. They got trips lined up to the left side here, and everything is rolling across the middle of the field towards the right sideline. So Trevor Lawrence he's getting pressured off the right side of the line, and he spins out left, but everything is flowing to the right. So now nothing is open, and nothing's going to be open because all the receivers are on the right side. Now they're going to have to sprint all the way back to the left where all the defenders are. And Trevor Lawrence is just going to see nothing open here and has to kind of throw it basically away. So Trevor Lawrence, maybe not understanding the scheme or the pressure got to him, and he rolls out the wrong way. And it's unfortunate we don't have the all-22 here, because this receiver right here, right on the break, literally all trips to the left are all coming back inside. And this man right here, 35-36. Can't really see too clearly here, but he's looking like he's open right now. Like we said, unfortunately, we don't have the L22, so he just comes off frame, so we don't know where the defenders are, but that kind of seemed to be open right there, and Trevor Lawrence looking right at it, didn't see it. The pressure got there kind of at the same time, forces him out. So an unfortunate incomplete pass here on 3rd and 4 by Trevor Lawrence, and they don't get the ball back, and the Bengals go down and kick the game-winning field goal. So they had the chance there to win it, make it a little bit more competitive, potentially put up 3 points to take the lead, but Trevor Lawrence kind of bootlegs off the wrong way, escapes the pressure off the wrong side. Unfortunate. Now as soon as he kind of escapes the pocket right here, there is no chance that this ball is complete because everything is flowing to the right. So truly unfortunate there by Trevor Lawrence, but overall, a good game by both of these young quarterbacks, and the Bengals, the home team, they squeak out the narrow victory 24-21. So, unfortunate for this Jaguars team, still waiting for their first win of the season, while the Bengals are trying to win that division, baby, and that's absolutely fantastic so far. So, Bengals get the 24-21 win, and we'll see if the Jaguars can finally win their next game, their first game of the season, next week. Alrighty, now since we talked about Thursday Night Football, we got to make our official picks for this week, folks. We reacted and predicted the Week 4 lines yesterday on the show, did pretty solid. We had 2 right on the money, but our thinking was kind of right on par with Vegas's for the most part. So we slept on the lines, we did our due diligence, and we're coming at you with 6 picks. Alrighty, last week we didn't do the greatest, folks. We went 3-3, but we're ready to get back on track this week, folks. This is a on-track week, so play along with us, and we'll make it worth your while. But here we go. Last week, we had the Ravens -8, and they were up, 17-0? That should have hit, but then, Marquise Brown couldn't catch anything for the rest of the game. So, unfortunate there. The Ravens win, but not by 8. We missed that one. Then we had the Titans -5. They win by 8-ish, 10-ish, something like that. Carson Wentz couldn't move the ball. We knew that. And the Titans win at home, no problem there, and cover the 5. Then we had the Rams +1.5. One of the bets that we are definitely proud in because, we know the Bucs are good, but we're telling you we are big on this Rams team. We have them as our number 1 team in our power rankings the entire season, and we put our money where our mouth was last week with the Rams +1.5 points, and they win outright by 10. We didn't even need the 1.5 extra there, folks. Fantastic. All right, then we had the Patriots -3. Mac Jones threw the ball 58 times. We were not expecting that. 51 times. We were not expecting that, and they could not move the ball. So the Patriots lose. Unfortunate. We had the Giants -3. We thought this would be the final, the week that the Giants offense comes alive. Fools on us. They were absolutely trash at home, so we wrote them off 100%. We will not be betting the Giants for the rest of the year. And then we had the Broncos -10.5. That hit. They shut out the Jets. No problem there. They went 26-0. So we hit the Broncos -10.5. And so that was good. So we went 3-3 officially last week. Pretty much 4-3 with that Ravens pick. Or 4-2. Should have been. Unfortunate. But this week we're coming at you with 6 more picks out here. And we're feeling real gosh dang confident in these, folks. So here we go. We do 6 picks every week. We do 3 in our locks category. These will hit 100%. We are feeling so gosh dang great about these. These are locks, folks. And then we have 3 picks in our 99% guarantee section where we feel so freaking confident about these picks, but we can potentially see maybe one thing that could potentially, possibly go wrong that maybe potentially hinders our bet a little bit. So we feel very good, and we're still going to be betting these and taking these, but there is potential risk here because of one thing that we will point out and talk about. So let's get to picking, baby. And we are going to make a Bucs Patriots pick that is not in our kind of locks or our official 6 picks, but this is the biggest game of the year, the biggest game of the decade, maybe the biggest game of my lifetime, potentially. I'm still a little young out here, so I still got a couple of years, but so far, this may be the biggest game that I have ever witnessed, so we gotta pick this game, folks, and I don't want to make it one of our picks here. We're not going to play it as like a bonus pick, but it's a separate pick that needs its own separate segment, I guess. So, 7 picks officially coming at you. So, let's get it going. Here we go. Let's start here with our locks category. 3 picks here. In our first pick in our lock category, we're going to go the Dallas Cowboys minus 4.5 points here. No Christian McCaffrey for this Panthers team. I think it's a bigger story, and I think it's going to hold a lot of weight in determining who's the winner of this game. The Panthers are also on the road, and this is their first true opponent here of the season. First 3 games, nothing great, but now they have to go out and beat this Cowboys team, and we are big believers in this Cowboys team. We just had our power rankings on Tuesday's show, and we have the Cowboys at number 3 in our power rankings. We are loving what we're seeing from them offensively, defensively, full of ball hawks. Dan Quinn is coaching the heck out of this Cowboys defense, and then we've got leaders all over this field, offensively, defensively, injured leaders. DeMarcus Lawrence is injured, but he's still leading on the sideline. Dak Prescott, backwards hat. Dak is leading on the sideline. Ezekiel Elliott is putting all the doubters on hush mode. Y'all thought Tony Pollard was better than me. Come on, give me a break. He had one good game, which is great. That's great for him, but I'm the number one. I'm the workhorse. I'm the premier back out here. So he shut everybody up last week. Getting it done in the running and the passing game. What was it? 2 touchdowns overall by the man. Getting it done. Blowing out the Eagles. Fantastic there. Now, this Panthers team, first real test, and why we're taking this game is because I don't believe that highly in the Panthers offense. Now, I like this Panthers defense. It's highly rated as one of the best defenses in the league. We can see this here. Let's go to this, the defensive stats here. They are kind of listed as the number 2 team. They've only given up 30 points. They gave up only 573 yards over 3 games, but this Cowboys offense is so much different. So we're taking the Cowboys minus 4.5 here, not because of the Panthers defense. We believe the Panthers defense is good, but so is this Cowboys defense, and I don't think Sam Darnold, without having that kind of safety blanket Christian McCaffrey in the backfield, the kind of bail him out. We talked about it. I mean, Christian McCaffrey was like the leading rusher and passer for kind of the first 2 games, and then unfortunately gets injured game 3, so he couldn't be the leading rusher and passer because he wasn't out on the field. So I think when they're going against a good defense on the road against their first true competition, what happens when Sam Darnold gets down? We saw him down, when he was playing for the Jets every single game because the Jets were trash, and they didn't win any games, and he didn't have great completion percentage. So when his back's against the wall, when he's down facing a great team on the road, how did Sam Darnold respond? So this pick, Cowboys minus 4.5, is not knocking the Panthers defense. I still think the Panthers defense will be solid. But I don't think the Panthers are going to be putting up that many points offensively, especially against this Cowboys defense that will take the ball away. If Sam Darnold is not 100% on the money, this Cowboys team is coming away with some takeaways, folks. So I'm taking the Cowboys minus 4.5. Cowboys at home. Dak Prescott at home. Come on. Panthers not ready to compete offensively just quite yet. We're taking the Cowboys minus 4.5. Alrighty, our next pick in our lock section is going to be the New Orleans Saints minus. Wow, and this one went up. Why are y'all betting this? Damn it, I didn't even tell y'all and you're already betting it. Dang it. But we just lost a half point of value here. We're taking the Saints minus 7.5. It was 7 when we were doing prep for the show. And then as we were talking for the last hour and 15 minutes, y'all were betting the Saints, which I like. Hey, y'all, we're on the same page, baby. Saints minus 7.5. I love it. This Giants team is so absolutely garbage, folks. Nobody wants to play. The offense is filled with skill players, and they're putting up 10, 17, 14 points a game. What are we doing out here? What are we doing? They're not even moving the ball. You can't even move the ball at home against the Falcons. Now you're going to move the ball on the road against the Saints defense and Saints team? I don't think so. And then the biggest storyline. This is such a huge storyline. I'm not sure if they're playing it in the media. But I'm telling y'all, having the fans back in the stands, first game back from Hurricane Ida, man, oh man, it's going to be electric in the Superdome, folks. Absolutely. And the Giants are just not going to be able to do anything offensively, defensively because of that raucous, roaring, crowd noise, party, celebration. And we're in the month of October, folks. Y'all know how October gets in New Orleans. They dress up every single day. They love the month of October. So we got the first game back from Hurricane Ida. We're in the month of October. The Saints are what, 2-1? That gets your team a little rowdy. Oh, we got a winning record. Oh, we're going against a bad team that we're kind of projected to win at. Oh, yeah, baby. Yeah. And they've been putting up points and moving the ball with Jameis Winston putting up like 140 yards a game. And they're still putting up like 20 points a game. How is that even mathematically possible? But they're doing it. And now Jameis Winston can let loose a little bit, let free a little bit, sling that ball around. I'm expecting 350 yards here by Jameis Winston. A big blowout here for the Saints. Saints minus 7.5, and the Giants are still trash come next week. The slow start offensively is still here. Nobody can do anything. Everybody's pointing the finger, and maybe Jason Garrett gets fired because they get blown out so bad. Saints minus 7.5. Lock in that value. I can only see this total keep going up, so lock it in when you can. Alrighty, and then our last pick in our lock section, we are taking the Broncos +1 over the Ravens. Alrighty, do I like this Ravens team? Well, I like Lamar Jackson, so I guess I would have to say I like this Ravens team because Lamar Jackson is the only person doing anything on this Ravens team. I'm sure y'all have seen the stat going around in the media on Twitter that Lamar Jackson is leading the league in yards per play, rushing the ball, and like yards per play, passing the ball. No player has ever done that because, quarterbacks don't run and running backs don't pass. But Lamar Jackson is literally their running back and quarterback, so that's why, and that's great. I'm not knocking Lamar Jackson. I'm knocking the entirety of the Ravens offense for not being as good or just as serviceable as needed for Lamar Jackson in this Ravens offense to put up points and kind of blow out teams. They barely squeaked out the win against the Lions last week. They barely squeaked out the win against the Chiefs 2 weeks ago, and then they lost in overtime against the Raiders week 1. So they're not blowing out teams. They're not looking kind of, flawless offensively. This is a bumpy, rocky Ravens offense because it's all dependent on one man. It's Lamar Jackson or nothing. The rushing attempt can't help him out. The wide receivers can't bail him out. Marquise Brown is dropping ball after ball after ball after ball that are wide open, and they're being thrown by Lamar Jackson. I mean, that's a pretty ball right there. So they're just not helping them out any. Now, the Ravens defense is solid. It's good. But now they have to come up to Mile High. Denver, first real opponent right here. And I really think they're ready to rock. Everybody's ready to rock. We just heard from Von Miller saying, hey, this is kind of like a playoff game for us. Nobody's kind of been giving us any credit for our first 3 wins. We've been taking care of business, and that's all we can control. This is all we can do. So we're ready to come out here and show you, hey, we can actually get it done against, one of the better teams, which y'all classify as a better team in this league, and we can go out there and get it done. So I believe in Teddy Bridgewater to get it done. I believe in the Broncos defense, and also here that kind of needs to be talked about here, the Ravens are the best rushing team in the league. And now they have to go up to Mile High. We just saw Zach Wilson and that Jets team struggle in Mile High in the higher altitude, harder to breathe. They didn't put up any points. So now this Ravens team that is predominantly rushing the ball effectively have to kind of run around here in Mile High. Maybe they're not there conditioning-wise. Lamar Jackson's missing a couple of days of practice this week. He also missed a couple of days of practice last week. So maybe his conditioning isn't up to 100% where it needs to be to play in Denver early on in the season, and I'm getting them plus a point. I'll take a little extra oomph, all right? I'll take a point. So, if the Broncos lose by 1, we don't lose the bet, we push, which obviously we would like to win, but a push is better than a loss. So we're going to take this Broncos team +1. I think they're ready to show that they are a true contender in this league, and I think the Ravens' conditioning is put to the test here offensively, and they can't keep up pace. So we're going to take the Broncos +1. So those are our 3 locks of the week, folks. Cowboys -4.5, Saints -7.5, and we're taking the Broncos +1. Alrighty, now let's talk about our 99% guarantees. We're feeling so confident about these, but we can see maybe one thing going wrong that hinders the bet, potentially, possibly, maybe. So let's talk about these. All right, first game up in our 99% guarantee section. We're going to go the Lions +3, folks. This Lions team has no quit. Keep pounding. And that's Dan Campbell's mantra all day. Keep pounding, never giving up. They almost beat the Ravens last week. That was fantastic. Unfortunately, 66-yard field goal wins them the game. This Bears offense isn't anything special. And, forget the quarterback. We know that's kind of the biggest story here for this Bears team. Forget Nick Foles. Forget Justin Fields. Forget Andy Dalton. Just look at this Bears team without thinking about the quarterbacks. We got Darnell Mooney, Allen Robinson, David Montgomery, Cole Kmet. I mean, is this anything great? It's good tier 2 pieces, don't get me wrong, but I mean, they really have no A1 tier 1 piece over here. They're not moving the ball. They're not putting up the points. The offensive line is getting destroyed over and over and over again, and we kind of have to remember that this Lions team still has Jared Goff, and he's been proven kind of serviceable here to Detroit, able to move the ball when they need to. They go on these spurts where they're never quitting. Last week it was in the second half against the Ravens. 2 weeks ago it was in the first half that they were competitive. Unfortunately, didn't play great in the second half. But they have shown spurts that they will always stay in the game. They never get blown out. And if they can pressure Justin Fields, he's pretty much going to be starting again this week. I mean, this Lions team maybe gets a couple of turnovers, and this Bears team just cannot move the ball. I mean, how many points have they put up? Let's quickly see. What has this team done offensively this entire year? How many points have they put up so far? We get this Bears offense is ranked like 31 offensively. They put up 40 points so far, folks. 40 points. The only team that put up less points than the Bears through 3 games is the Jets, and that's granted because you got Zach Wilson. This Lions team even put up 67 points. So this Lions team is able to move the ball and score the ball better than what this Bears team can do. So this Lions team kind of got, a bad rap last week because, probably should have called the delay of game, probably should have called that moves them out of field goal range. They lose on a 66 record-setting yard field goal. How unfortunate. So this Lions team, they're chomping at the bit to get their first win. We just saw what the Jaguars were doing last night when they were looking for their first win. Really competitive. I'm taking the Lions +3 points here. Dan Campbell has this game close, and maybe they lose, but we're getting the 3 here. We feel real confident about that. Lions +3. Alrighty. Next game here that we're going to take in our 99% guarantee section is the Chiefs -6.5. The Chiefs, they've lost the last 2 games. They lost at home. They lost to the Ravens. They don't want to lose at either of those games. I mean, Patrick Mahomes had kind of the monopoly on Lamar Jackson. And now Lamar Jackson got a little bit of real estate in that kind of discussion of, who's the better younger quarterback. And then they just lost at home. The Chiefs don't lose at home, folks. Come on. So 2 big bad losses here for the Chiefs, and now they're heading into this Eagles team that is struggling to move the ball and put up points. That's not the Chiefs' struggles. The Chiefs aren't losing these games because they're not putting up any points. They're losing these last 2 games because they're turning the ball over. We had Patrick Mahomes throwing, an interception, and then Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumbling against the Chargers, and then we had everybody turning the ball over last week. Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumbling again, Tyreek Hill fumbling uncharacteristically, Patrick Mahomes throwing 2 interceptions. So they are shooting themselves in the foot, and they're still losing close. They had like 6 turnovers these last 2 weeks, and I think they lost by a combined 8 points over that. 6 turnovers, and you're only losing by 8 points. Let's get the exact totals up here. So against the Ravens, they lose by 1. They lose by 1 point against the Ravens, and then last week they lose against the Chargers by 6. So they lose by 7 points off of 6 turnovers. Name me another team that does that. Only Tom Brady can do that. And we just saw that literally last year. He wasn't losing the game. He was actively turning over the ball and winning the games in the playoffs. How crazy. So there's only this Chiefs team. They're not going to continue to turn over the ball unless they do. And that's why we have it in our 99% guarantee category. Because if they turn over the ball, then yeah, they probably won't win. But Are they going to still turn over the ball? I mean, this is so uncharacteristic. And we know usually Andy Reid runs a real tight ship. We really should not be expecting anybody to be fumbling or turning over the ball. The Chiefs are 1-2. Backs kind of against the wall. That's their attitude. I think Patrick Mahomes kind of said it. Hey, our backs are against the wall in this game. So they know the pressure's on. They know that this is an easier Eagles team. They just got blown out by the Cowboys. The Eagles kind of overall look of what they are is kind of in jeopardy and question this week. Deshaun Watson news is making kind of the headlines again, which I don't really put that much weight into. I don't know why everybody's bailing on quarterbacks. This is such a weird year. I don't get it. I don't know if it's because Deshaun Watson is still up for grabs or if it was because we got so spoiled with the rookie quarterback level of play last year, but everybody's ready to move off of these quarterbacks. And I mean everybody. I'm talking fans. I'm talking media personalities, the major sports people. I've never seen everybody collectively be on the same page of get rid of these quarterbacks. And it's not just one team. People are ready to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo for Trey Lance. I wouldn't do that. People are ready to get rid of Jalen Hurts after he's only started 5-6 games in this league for Deshaun Watson. I'm like, what is going on here? People are just going crazy with the quarterbacks now. So maybe that kind of narrative, and Jalen Hurts is seeing what his own fans are saying and what people in the sports media world are saying. So maybe he's taking that to heart, try to do a little bit too much, and that's kind of what we've seen by Jalen Hurts, why this Eagles team has struggled over the last 2 weeks, not able to kind of score in the red zone, turning over the ball, not sustaining drives. So this Chiefs team's backs against the wall. This Eagles team, they are still having trouble scoring the ball. It's not, like we just said, it's not the Chiefs unable to score the ball of why they're losing. That's why the Eagles are losing. They can't really score the ball. They're not getting it done in the red zone. So this Chiefs defense ready to play kind of lights out. The offense ready to not turn over the ball. And it's just an unfortunate time for this Eagles team to be facing the Chiefs. Chiefs backs against the wall with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, I'll take that. Chiefs minus 6.5. Alrighty, and then our last pick in our 99% guarantee section, we are going to take the Browns -2. Did y'all just see that Browns defense last week? I know it was against the Bears and that bad offensive line and a rookie quarterback, but 9 sacks is still 9 sacks. How can you snarl at 9 sacks? How can you snarl at Myles Garrett getting off the edge and having 4.5 sacks himself? I mean, that's great, folks. I don't care who it's against. I don't care if it's against a college team. I'm still taking 9 sacks. So we know this Browns defense is great, and Baker Mayfield honestly played maybe his worst game of the season last week, and they were still able to win and look pretty solid and put up the points and win the game pretty convincingly. And that was Baker Mayfield's worst game of the season. Yeah, he didn't throw an interception, but he had his worst completion percentage. So he wasn't accurate or efficient, but he was still getting it done because of the defense. So we know this Browns team is, I kind of classified it as one of the most complete teams in the league, folks. And I'm talking about maybe a little bit more complete than that Rams team. It's kind of crazy. This is what this Browns team is. Kevin Stefanski, I give that man so much credit for calling the games and plays exactly how they need to be called and played for Baker Mayfield to have success. Now, why we put this in our 99% guarantee section is because they're going against the Vikings. We don't know what the freak the Vikings are, folks. They play great, they lose. They play great, they win. It doesn't matter. And now we're talking about a potential Dalvin Cook out. How is Alexander Madison going to play? He played very well last week, but is that a one-hit wonder, or is he going to be able to get it done? I don't know if I want to bet on that if he has to go against this Browns defense. So, this Browns team going on the road against the Vikings, they're clearly the better team. Kevin Stefanski will scheme and call the game exactly how it is needed to be played and called here for the Browns to have success. They also went for it on 4th down a couple of times last week, why they kind of got out to a slow start. So expect that to kind of, not be a problem this week. and I just can't get behind this Vikings team, folks. Yes, they're coming off a win, but we know what this Vikings team is. It doesn't matter. They have that clutch or that unclutched turnover at most of their games. In this Browns defense, 9 sacks, that's definitely going to lead to potentially some turnovers. So Vikings, they like to give the game away at the worst time. No potential Dalvin Cook. This Browns team rocking and roaring, and the offense right there, the best tandem running back duo in the league by far. Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, run, pass. The Vikings aren't going to be able to keep up scoring pace, and if they try to keep up scoring pace with this Browns team, the Browns offense is going to shut it down quick. So we're going to swallow the 2 here with the Browns on the road. Browns -2. So our 99% guarantees are Detroit plus 3.5, Chiefs -6.5, and the Browns -2. Alrighty, now let's do our special Bucks, Patriots, Brady versus Bill, Sunday Night Football, Foxborough bet here, folks. So here we go, Bucks, Patriots, we're taking the Patriots -7. Folks, we said this when we were predicting the line yesterday. Take Bill and Brady out of this game. What do you get? You get Super Bowl champions versus a rookie quarterback proven nothing. What do you go with on just that? I'm taking the Bucks -7. This offense is so talented. I mean, just look at the offenses compared. Take Tom out of the equation. I don't care. We got this Bucks offense elite filled of weapons. Mike Evans, AB, Rob Gronkowski, Cameron Brate, Chris Godwin, folks. And then we got Leonard Fournette in the backfield and Ronald Jones in the backfield. I mean, folks, we're talking about piece after piece after piece after piece. And then when we're with the Patriots, what are we talking about? Nelson Aguilar, Hunter Henry, Damian Harris, the running back. No James White anymore because he's injured. So lackluster tier 2 pieces everywhere with rookie quarterback Mac Jones. We're going to believe in that. We're going to believe in that. They just couldn't move the ball at home last week against the Saints defense. Couldn't move the ball, non-competitive. So now add Tom Brady and Bill into the mix here. We get Tom Brady. We know he wants to win this game. This is a huge game. We know he's playing it cool as a cucumber out there. No, this is just a normal game. Pressure. Oh, Bill? Okay, yeah, we played a couple of games together. I don't know why y'all are harping on that. So Tom Brady knows he needs to go out there and perform well. He just came off of a loss on the road against the Rams, another game he probably should have been a little bit more competitive in, a huge game that he knows he needed to win. So is he going to lose back-to-back must-win games here? I don't think so. And then let's talk about this Bucs defense. Great defense, especially against, a tier 2 team like this Patriots team is. And we know, Tampa Bay, everybody kind of thanks Tom Brady for bringing them to Tampa Bay and helping them win kind of their first ring. So you don't think this Bucs defense is going to kind of step it up and kind of be like, all right, Tom, thanks for kind of giving us the rings. It's time to us kind of repay you a little bit. We know how much this game means to you. We're going to go and shut down Mac Jones and sack him 9 times like the Browns defense just did against Justin Fields last week. So everything in the Bucs, they're just clear-cut better than this Patriots team. Now the Patriots are at home, and they have Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick obviously knows what Tom Brady does well. They spent their entire lives together. They know each other. Bill Belichick was going against Tom Brady in practice and all that. We know Bill Belichick is in charge of the defense. So he's going to have the game plan, the scheme to beat Tom Brady. But don't you think Tom Brady knows what Bill Belichick's going to throw to him? The chess match, they each know what they're going to do. Tom Brady knows what Bill Belichick is going to do on defense. Bill Belichick knows what Tom Brady's going to do on offense. But Tom Brady knows what Bill Belichick is going to do or thinks Tom Brady's going to do. So he's going to try and do something that goes against what that does. And then Bill Belichick is thinking, well, Tom Brady knows what I'm going to do because he knows that I know he knows what he's going to do. So I'm going to kind of throw him off balance a little bit by doing this because he wouldn't be expecting it. And then maybe Tom Brady's like, hey, I know Bill knows that I know that he knows that I know what he's going to do. And Bill knows that I know that I'm going to kind of go around and kind of outswindle him, because I know what he knows and what I know what he knows, and he knows what we know and we know what he knows, and he knows what I know and I know what he knows that he knows that I know that I know that he knows and all this. So who's going to be playing 40, 50, 60, 70, 80? Who's going to 9 dimensions of chess out here? Tom Brady or Bill Belichick? I don't even think it gets that far, because it's the Bucs defense absolutely shutting down this Patriots offense. I'm going to put this out there. I don't think this Patriots team puts up more than 10 points. I don't think this is a close game. Everybody in the media is hyping up this as a close game. I don't know if they truly believe that, or if they're just trying to, hype up how big this game actually is. You can't just say this is going to be a blowout game, because this is going to be one of the biggest games in NFL history. You have to hype it up. You have to build it up. But honestly, I got nothing. I got nothing to gain here by, hyping it up or anything like that. I honestly think this is a big old blowout. I think the Bucs win by 20 plus points. I don't think the Patriots put up more than 10 points, and it's Tom Brady getting the last laugh over Bill Belichick. I'm taking the Bucs -7, folks. Non-competitive game. I'm not buying into the hype. Non-competitive game. Bucs win it by 20. We'll take them -7. Alrighty, so to recap our picks quickly here, folks. Our official 6 picks we got in our lock section. We got Cowboys -4.5, Saints -7, and Broncos +1. In our 99% guarantees, we got Lions +3, Chiefs -6.5, Browns -2, and then in our special bet of the week, we're taking the Bucs -7 over Bill Belichick and the Patriots. Alrighty, folks, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We're back tomorrow live, noon Eastern, breaking down whatever happens in the sports world between today and tomorrow. We'll break it all down. Also, get us right for Sunday's action as well. So join us tomorrow live, noon Eastern, and we'll be back here, folks. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see.